Hello, I'm Holly, and you're listening to another episode of Talking Games. Anna Demetriou is an actor, film and game, Twitch star, and all-round content powerhouse. Her most recent roles in games have been Sophia in A Plague Tale and Doris in Final Fantasy. Star Citizen gets a special mention here, as she's affectionately known as Mrs. Babbage. She's also done voices in Baldur's Gate. She's been in 13 games with more to come. Recently hitting 30,000 Twitch followers and 12,000 YouTube subscribers, Anna's powering into the gaming world like no other. She's electric to be around, caring, emotionally aware, and has a work ethic that could make your eyes water. Her content and community are so important to her, she rarely switches off and is always consistent in delivering an extremely high standard. A personal friend, a fellow cancer crab, we sit down and we chat about her journey so far. Come join us. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Gord.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for having me today.
Good. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Pleasure.
Absolutely delighted to have you on, and very lucky because you are not only a great gamer, you're also a friend of mine. So thanks so much.
Oh, it is a total pleasure. I'm honoured you even asked me, to be honest with you. In your new exciting endeavours in the gaming spaces.
Yeah, I'm honestly really enjoying it. It's a different thing to do, right? It's nice to sit and chat. And also, like, just, I don't know, it's like actually made me think about what I do, because obviously episodes come out every couple of weeks, and it almost makes me sit down and reflect on the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it's something that you never do.
Way. Yeah, unfiltered and like uninterrupted. You get to think about it in a different way rather than doing it. Like talking about what you do and doing it are very different things.
Yeah. And you never really reflect, like things happen now and I think, and I quickly like grab either my written journal, what I refer to, or my notes on my phone. And I'm like, and it's literally a sentence. Yeah. But then to like sit down and look back and go, oh yeah, it's weird. It's a weird experience. It's actually, I recommend it.
I will do. I'll get my
notepad.
I might think of anything now. No, it's good to document stuff. I used to keep a diary religiously when I was a teenager, writing down everything that happened that day. And I think as I got older, I realized that I was kind of using it in more, probably less of a healthy way. I was like trying to hold on to things in a way that probably wasn't as useful. But like it started off being like a really nice way to like document my thoughts. But I think there's a line, isn't it, between like holding on to stuff too much and then using it in a positive way as a balance.
Yeah, or not just like a place to rant about things that you don't like.
Hate everyone in my life. Burn book, Mean Girls energy.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the burn book, but I thought, do I want to bring the Mean Girls energy to Anna's day today?
Same wavelength.
But you know, like I can see that happening. But sometimes that's healthy as well, like to, you know, get annoyed and like leave it there on those 8 pages.
True. Just compartmentalize it, put it away, move on from it afterwards.
Yeah.
On the page.
And hope nobody reads it.
Hope it never gets found later in life.
Yeah.
Burn it afterwards.
Yeah, the burn
That's
book.
why they call it a burn book.
Yeah. Did you just realise that, Gordon?
Well, no, I just remembered that was the phrase of it. I was like, burn book, Mean Girl books, different thing.
Yeah, I love that film, I've got to say.
Oh, I know. They're redoing it, aren't they?
Yes, I can't wait for it. If it's in the cinema, we should go together.
We should. It'll be better than the last thing we saw together, won't it? So
yeah, don't even mention.
I blocked it out.
Yeah, what's the cinema?
It was Venom, Revenge, Carnage of.
Yeah.
Awful.
Like, needless to say, we have not been back to the cinema together since.
No, I think it actually made me get PTSD. When I walk into a cinema now, I panic. So I can't go back in.
That was such a bad film. Apologies to anyone who is a big
If you loved it, good on you.
Yeah, let's go in the burn book. Your first entry, got it there for you. Venom.
It's where it all started.
I've got a nice little segue there into how it all started. uh, after you very kindly accepting to come on here and let me grill you about gaming, it got me to thinking about how we met through gaming, through Twitch.
Yes.
And that was ages ago now. That was probably like, honestly, it was at the very start of your Twitch journey, wasn't it?
Very much so. Like very much at the beginning, yeah.
That was
And
very, very beginning.
it's funny because I think sometimes you have, because Twitch streamers are all over the world, you have people that you kind of categorize as Twitch friends in your head, people that you never really see, and then your IRL friends. I now think of you more as my IRL friend because because of how near you ended up being to me and all that stuff. It was just such a coincidence rather than just like a Twitch friend now, because that, yeah, it's so funny how that worked out.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
was so funny. Can I
you were.
actually say where you do you remember when you when you
Oh
thought
yeah. I
you
I was
thought
so
Twitch was
confused.
location based?
Okay, this is listen. I'll explain myself. It was so coincidental, especially because of how close you live to me personally, that I was like, there must be some kind of algorithm that puts people in the same area, location, like it's some part, something. I was like, that can't be real. And then you were like, obviously not. That would be insane. And I was like, okay, well now I think about it, yes, that would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it'd
But I
be so
just
dangerous.
thought it was, yeah, super dangerous. Of course, like thinking about it, that makes sense. But I was like, they must be putting people of this area in the same. Like, no way. But like,
Yeah.
you were literally just in my recommended section one day, and then it turned out you're around the
It's
corner.
so funny, isn't it? And you literally
Insane.
lived where I was born.
Yes,
That's crazy.
we had both worked in the same place. We both
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, crazy. But thank goodness for that weird
I
algorithm
know.
that brought us together.
The clear Twitch algorithm, the location-based
Yeah.
algorithm on Twitch that keeps us all safe. Thank God for
Why
that.
don't you watch the headlines?
What?
Like Twitch under
I'll
fire
prove
for
I will prove it one day. I'll make sure people know about that algorithm.
honestly, it's mad really, but I'm so grateful for it. But that's one thing that I really have found with content creating is the social aspect of it, like going to meetups and meeting people in communities that you hang around in. It's wonderful, right? It's a weird feeling, but it's also lovely.
It takes something that is so distant and makes it so real. I remember like my first TwitchCon. Was that your first TwitchCon when we both went?
Yeah.
Was that your second? Yeah. We both went to TwitchCon Amsterdam.
That was my first.
That was our first. That was my first too.
Yeah.
I remember just I have never had more of a like euphoric like event experience, especially to do with like work or quote unquote work, because I was like, oh my God, I felt you can take Twitch and put it into your real life context and it feels very alien to the people that you know, the people that are doing other things, and people don't really quite understand what you're talking about, and they support you but they're kind of like, oh okay. And then you go to TwitchCon and everyone understands exactly what you do, everyone understands your interests, everyone understands who you are, what you're about. For the first time I felt like I was so in the right place and not just like a random kind of different shape in a different place like I normally do, I think, in a lot of such like situations. So God, it was just so great. I loved it.
I think definitely as women doing it, when you say it to family members that don't know and you go, yeah, I'm on camera, and people watch and they donate tips or bits or
it's very
subs,
hard
they subscribe, they don't,
it's sounding
they
weird,
enjoy it. I mean, there's no way to make that not sound different than what it is to someone that doesn't know Twitch.
Oh, thank God for the phrase content creator, because like even that seems to just encapsulate it in a more of a normal way without having to describe it from scratch. But
yeah, that's going in the burn book.
Yeah, a burn book, page 2.
How to describe Twitch.
Venom, content creator, cam girl, basically.
Oh, no, but that's exactly
that's
the way
it ends up sounding like.
Yeah. You know what I've realised? We've jumped ahead, and I would like, for those that don't know who Anna is or what Anna does, Anna, I'm going to put you on the spot, and before we race ahead, as we have been doing, I want 30 seconds. I know it's tough, but I want you to describe you or the essence of you and what you do and why you do it in 30 seconds.
Are you timing me?
Go.
Oh God!
I'm going to time you. Hang on, let me get my timer. You've got a few seconds to think while I get my timer out.
Oh my God! So wait, I encapsulate my entire.
Or just like
Being? Oh my God.
what you've done, what led you to content, you know, no big deal.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready for you.
Oh God.
Go.
Hello, everybody. I'm joking. My name is Anna Demetriou. I am a 30-year-old English actor turned content creator. After I did a load of voices and mocap for some games, and it kind of snowballed into a Twitch career. And now I'm like I almost have this kind of dual career of being an actor and a content creator, and that kind of like if that encapsulates it a bit.
Yeah. Well, look,
We can,
honestly,
I'm panicking. Woo!
30 seconds. Look at that.
It was the cat. She threw me off. My cat
You
threw me
are a
off. It was,
professional, I gotta say.
I
You
can't even
are
see can't even see it.
honestly. Well, you hit the brief. 30 seconds.
You're welcome. Just trying to make your podcast nice and
Honestly,
tidy.
thank you very much. So when you say the voice acting, can you say what games you've been in? For those that don't know,
Yes.
and who, please?
I think I forget the order now because they're kind of all over the place. Also, the order that I record them in or the order that I film them in is absolutely not release order either. So it's kind of insane in that way. But yes, I think probably most known for a bunch of voices in Star Citizen initially, which is what got me into Twitch in the first place. I played the New Babbage hologram and the voices of New Babbage on Microtech in Star Citizen and Arena Dooley in the Stanton missions and the Xenothreat missions. I play Sophia in Plague Tale Requiem. I play Doris in Final Fantasy 16, a few voices in Baldur's Gate 3. Other
Loads.
stuff floating around, little bits and bobs in games you may never have heard of. And
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Honestly, I play Star Citizen because of meeting you. It was like
Oh yeah, of
a
course, I
knock-on
forget.
effect. Yeah, and to get onto like a shuttle and hear you saying your voice is just wild.
I remember
I
the
still don't
first
get
time
over it.
watching you for the first time hear my voice when you hadn't heard
Yeah.
my voice in anything yet, and you were like, "That is so weird."
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's
That
weird.
was
The
fun. That was
weirdest
a
for
fun
me
one.
was Plague Tale though, hearing your voice.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
just,
because that character is very much my voice. Really, it's not like I'm not
yeah,
putting anything to it. Star Citizen is still kind of a bit more androidy or it's American, but Plague Tale was just very much my voice. Really, just how it is now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's wild because it is literally like you're like
me.
screaming at me when I was on the ship and you were telling me to find something and it was making me laugh so much because it's so weird.
It's the crank at the prow, girl. Get
Yes, that was it.
I'll
And
never
I
forget
was,
shouting, "It's the
oh
crank
my,
at the prow." What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I should know that, and I don't even know what that means.
you should know that. You should know that. But yeah,
Mm,
that's so
gonna have to
funny.
Google crank and prow.
So you just mentioned there briefly that Star Citizen was what got you onto Twitch. Now,
Yes.
what's that process like? What made you? You said actor to appearing on Twitch, so to speak, because you were in a
Mm.
game and then you went into content creating. Like, what was that like switch around? What happened?
I so I was just a working actor in London as I normally have been for like the last oh my gosh, the last 5 or 6 years, I guess. And the one of the content creators of Star Citizen, who's called Cobra TV, he after I posted a very short clip of my mocap for that game on YouTube and Twitter, kind of that video took off a little bit on social media. I woke up to like 10,000 people over those two platforms watching the very, very like a 60-second clip of my motion capture for Star Citizen. And I was very confused because I didn't know anything about Star Citizen. For me, it was just like a background, like behind the scenes clip at work. I wasn't really thinking about the game particularly. I didn't know about Star Citizen. Then it turned out it had quite a substantial fan base, and people were quite excited to watch that behind the scenes clip. And yeah, this streamer said, "We'd love to like, can I interview you on my Twitch stream?" And I did that.
Wow.
And I didn't know what Twitch was. He was just like, "I'm live broadcasting to my viewers, and you're just like on the phone." So I think he had a video link, a bit like what we're kind of doing now. And they just asked me some questions about what it was like to work on that game. And he said, you should stream. I know we would all love to watch you play it. And I was like, oh, I don't have a gaming PC. I don't really
But
know
you were
anything
a
about.
gamer, weren't you?
Yeah, I
Always
would
a gamer,
console
forever.
till I die,
Yeah.
console, PlayStation forever type person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any need to have a gaming PC because I just assumed I didn't know anything about PC gaming. I assumed any game you wanted would just be available on a console. I didn't understand the world of PC gaming. I now know that's absolutely not the truth. There's a lot of PC exclusives. There's a lot of games you can't get on a console at all.
Mm.
Um, Obviously vice versa too, but I didn't know anything about it. And um, I was also doing a bit of YouTube gaming. I'd started a YouTube channel. I was recording very badly on a laptop, Alien Isolation playthroughs just in my
That's a
spare
great game.
time. Oh, it's such a great game. But just like a
Mm.
more of a passion project, I thought, oh, whilst I'm just as a working actor, I'll just play a few games and record a playthrough. And my laptop was breaking, overheating, really struggling to edit things. And I had all of these people in this fan base going, we would love to get you a PC so that you would stream. And also it will help, it would help with my editing and everything. And I just thought it was the strangest thing, a strangest kind of gift to accept from strangers ever. I couldn't fathom saying yes to something like that because I didn't understand. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know about the game. It felt like such an outrageous gift to accept from people that I had never met.
Mm.
And as time wore on, I think I just thought, like, if this is what people want, and it's almost giving back to them too, because I know I would stream and I would make them the videos, then maybe I should just try and accept something that people are trying to give me. So I kind of accepted it, and yeah, they crowdfunded me a great PC. I
Wow.
started streaming on Twitch. I started doing more YouTube stuff, and then within about 6 months, I was full time alongside being an actor. And because of the Star Citizen community is absolutely unbelievable, craziest thing that's
Wow.
ever happened to me.
Wow. Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing that
it's
like
insane.
that's so quick as well. So quick to be
Very
launched
quick.
into a career of
Yeah, that I knew I really, really was finding my feet whilst it was happening. I was learning at the same time, technical, like all the technical stuff that goes into streaming, which you know about, of course. Like I had no idea what I was doing. It was such a quick process, but I guess they always say, don't they, that they kind of you learn by doing.
yeah.
So I was
You've definitely
I
been
was
doing.
thrust into it. Yeah, I was like, well, I
Here
started
I
half of my
am.
streams muted. I was muted on most of my streams. I didn't know what, like the sound was wrong, my camera, everything was a mess. But here we are.
I'll look at your
We
camera
managed
now.
it.
Perfection of a
Completely
blur
hacked the
behind. Yeah, I was going to say Bun is there, making a feature in the corner there.
backdoor feature.
It's funny because one of the things that really, uh, having like obviously watched your streams for so long,
Mm.
over a long period of time, popping in and out. One thing that I really notice about your channel is your community, and like,
Mm.
I think something that you've really managed to do the whole way throughout is keep it as like lovely. And I know lovely is kind of like a bit of a general
No,
word,
that's so nice
but
to hear.
yeah, it's like it feels like a small community, but it's a massive community.
Mm.
Is there a trick to like what is it? How have you kept that feeling? Well, you do literally say hello to everyone
Gosh.
that comes into your chat somehow.
Oh, I don't think I think after a while, the pressure that you feel as a streamer to make sure that everybody is acknowledged. It's such something I couldn't bear, the idea of missing someone in chat or something. I just wanted everyone to get a hello. And then I realized that if I did that, I wouldn't game at all, or I wouldn't be paying attention to the content at all. And so I think striking a balance between making sure that I've paid attention to everybody and I'm engaging with them, and also making sure that there's something for them to watch, is a really tough balance, especially as the channel grows. And I think people have been really patient with me, especially as we've had like maybe spikes where things have gone up, or um, there's been something that has made more people come in or something. So yeah, it is definitely a balance. I'm not perfect with it all the time, but I think I have the same question as you, Gore. I don't know how a community like that, it's something that I thank them for all the time, because you can't really control who finds your stream, you can't control
Yeah.
who wanders in, you can't control who stays and likes your stuff and wants to stick around. And I think for me, one of the loveliest things is seeing people in your community become friends with each other,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
knowing that they're getting on, and through their appreciation of you and your work, they are appreciating each other. It's really special for me, and I think I just have to feel really lucky and really blessed, I suppose, that some great people have found the channel. And yeah, I think I try and make it feel close and family-esque, even though there are quite a few people sometimes watching at once. But I don't really know if that's me or them or both.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's wonderful
just
to see. I mean,
amazing.
I've got the answers. I feel like you're like, is it me or them?
I
I
don't know.
don't know the answer either, Gore.
No one knows. I don't know.
It's amazing though. It is because it's the coop, right?
The coop.
Yeah, the coop,
The chicken coop.
it's always stayed very coop-like.
I remember when I was thinking about what to call my community, I was thinking, I have no idea. Like some people have start a Twitch channel and they call themselves like a Twitch name that isn't their real name, so that they can create something around that and have like a brand almost or an identity. And I've always just been my name
You
because
could be
I'm a
the
voice
Annas.
actor.
Can you?
It couldn't be. I was like, could I be called Mother Hen? You know, and somebody had already taken Mother Hen. I was like, it can't be Mother Hen. I was thinking about anything, and then I thought, well, if people are following me because I'm a voice actor, I probably should keep my name as my name. So I've just kept it as me. But I thought, how would you call a community when it's just based off of one person? So I didn't know what it was. And my favorite animal was a baby chick. It always has been. I've got
Oh,
literally, even my desk is surrounded by
is a
little
baby
things like this.
chick.
It's just everywhere. Everything.
Oh, that's
I
actually
know.
gorgeous.
I know.
For the benefit of those listening on podcasts and not watching on YouTube, Anna just held up a real chick.
Sorry, get it right, Gordon. It's a crocheted.
I wanted to cause like a stir. It's a real live chick that she has living on her desk. No, it's a little crochet chick.
It's so cute.
She's lifted up a full-sized adult chicken. That's what she has running around.
Lives and runs around my house, completely free reign, no cage.
And
free
all
reign.
Anna eats is its eggs.
Oh my god, yeah.
Nothing else.
Protein for days.
But
yeah, I just was like, I guess my favorite animal is this. I'm just gonna call everybody the coop. And I was like, a fully grown adult's gonna be okay being called like a chick in a coop. Turns out it's worked okay. So
turns out absolutely. Thank goodness.
Turns out, yeah.
Well, so on that stretch, to keep that community safe, you know, it's so large. Do you think that comes from the good vibes that it has? Like, you know, is it a huge task to keep so many people safe at that size of a community?
I think it increasingly does. I think moderators are so important, having, you know, good ones and ones that care about the community as much as you do. I think I'm so lucky to have such an amazing mod team. I'm so grateful for them. And also I think this, like I guess we touched on it before. I think the streamer can curate some of that too. It's also down to the streamer to call out stuff that they don't want there, or, you know, not just, I guess, hide in the shadows. And you kind of have to stick up for the things that you want around the stream or don't want around the stream in order to benefit and protect everybody else as well. So I think as I've gotten further through streaming, I've gotten a bit braver about saying, I don't want that here.
Oi.
Or I don't, yeah, oi, get out of my pub. Get out of my pub.
Oh, yeah.
Get it up, get it out. But yeah, there's more boldness, I think, now to be able to be like, oh, hey, that person just came in. I don't want that here. Or could we just please ban that person? Or please don't talk to me like that. Or just something like that, where I think where you can, it's our responsibility also to say what we like and don't like too, because it is our space. So I think I've gotten a bit better with that too as stuff's gone on.
Yeah,
doesn't obviously happen loads, but
yeah, well, that's a good thing. But I think it's important to like want to be there too. And if you had so much grief, you wouldn't want to hang out there. It's a place, you know, you spend a lot of time.
Neither would anyone else. Exactly.
With time, I don't think I've met many people. You're always switched on to your content and dealing and worrying about the community, aren't you?
Yeah. It's a hard job to turn off in your head, actually. I think when you love it so much, I say to people all the time, when your work is also your pleasure, your work is also your joy. It's not like a lot of people go to work, it's fine, they enjoy it, but they come off and they look forward to the weekend being their fun time. For me, and I'm sure many other content creators, work is their fun time. So it's very difficult to turn that off or to stop caring about it when you're not working, or to not think about it or keep doing something or be tweaking or continuing it in some way. So yeah, it's hard for your brain to stop.
Yeah, I mean,
caring about it,
right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
And you do Twitch how many days a week? And you're uploading YouTube 4 days a week.
Yeah.
You do
For
YouTube how many times?
4 streams a week and then 2 videos a week. But I will, to be fair, YouTube is a little, it's not as strenuous as I thought it would be, because in one day you can record 2 videos in one evening, and then they just get distributed twice throughout the week. YouTube is more of a new thing. I actually haven't spent a lot of time doing that many videos, but more recently, at the end of last year, I wanted to have some playthroughs that weren't live, so I could focus more on some of the story aspects of stuff. Streaming, you miss something. You just can't help but miss stuff sometimes when you're live, because people are talking to you and you're talking to them. So if there's some playthroughs I wanted to have a lot of focus, I've just been doing a few extra.
Yeah, or like, the classic someone strolling in and ruining the end.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah.
Left, right, and center.
Yeah, especially if it's like quite a game that you really don't want spoiled. I'm not saying it happens. It doesn't happen loads, but it can, and that's just wicked.
I don't know how I managed to go God of War Ragnarok without any spoilers at all, and so I'm so glad I got to play that without anyone telling me anything about it. I didn't know anything, so that was great. And I know if I played it on YouTube, on Twitch, there probably would have been something I would have read and been like, "Oh, great, thanks."
Yeah.
That's going to come up in chapter 10.
Yeah, and no matter what, sometimes mods can be quick, but sometimes it just.
Also, poor mods, they're getting it spoiled for themselves as well,
True, yeah.
Lots of the mods are protecting everyone else. They're having to get spoilers and have to deal with all of that themselves. It's a hard job.
Yeah, it is.
The mods.
Thank goodness for the mods.
I know.
With the switching off aspect, managing your day, like, are you strict? Do you stick to a strict routine when it comes to content creation? Like, if someone was starting out, or if they're kind of not finding flow with what they're doing, but they want to do many things, what would be your advice? Like, what's the kind of thing that you do to stay focused?
I think I'm learning a lot about how it's very dependent on how someone works. I am not very good at being left to my own devices. When I'm given a structure, I'm so much more able to stick to it. When somebody is going, okay, this is where you're going at this time on this place, and then when it's just kind of, I've got to figure that out for myself, all hell breaks loose, and I have no idea how to manage things. I actually have an Excel spreadsheet that I made in the middle of last year that I'm really trying to stick to as much as I can. I'm just trying to be a bit more.
Excel?
Yeah, I literally have an Excel spreadsheet, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when I'm streaming, when I stop streaming, when I should be like eating or like working out or something like that. Just trying to put things in, because I will just run away with the day if I don't have some kind of structure. So I'm trying to give it to myself, and then be patient with myself if I don't meet it. But
I think it's important.
I think assigning rest is something I'm having to do, because I don't rest otherwise. I don't stop. So I'm trying to go, during this time, you're not gaming, you're not doing anything. You're just, having a bath, or you're just going to see watching a film, or like cooking something, or just like putting that time in. But I think structure is definitely important. If somebody is thinking, okay, I want to do this, where do I start? I think structure is good, but with some grace around that too.
Yeah. Definitely. A grace as in, sometimes you think, oh, nah.
Or I'm like, oh, I go back and check that little bloody spreadsheet, and I haven't done the thing that I said I was going to do at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, well, it's now 8 o'clock.
Well.
At least, hopefully, you don't do that for streams. I guess that's the main thing.
Oh no, I didn't stream.
I'm sure I'm meant to be somewhere.
Sure, I'm just sat on the bed doing nothing. What am I doing?
There are some people waiting to see me. It's 2 o'clock.
Exactly. The thing that involves other people, I'll always show up on time. But then when it's about myself, it will just, forget breakfast, forget lunch, forget dinner.
That was a big thing you used to do as well. Is it your breakfast on stream? Do you remember?
Well, when we first met, I was still working a full-time job. So when I was streaming, I almost couldn't do anything but eat dinner on stream, because I was working a shift and then streaming beforehand. So my lunch was on stream, and then I would finish stream and work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now thankfully I don't have to do that anymore.
Thank goodness.
I have little nibbles here and there, but not a fish cake.
We done a stream once and Anna ate a whole fish cake.
Nice fish cake, fully having dinner.
I was just in shock.
And
like, there's easier things to eat live than a fish cake, especially with someone sat next to you.
It's a breaded piece of fish.
Yeah, it's a fish cake.
Listen, it wasn't spaghetti bolognese. Can you imagine?
Well, again, that's less fishy. Hopefully.
Well, no one can witness the fish.
I was there.
On the other side of the camp. Oh yeah, to be fair, you were there.
I witnessed the fish.
You really did. You really did. You saw it all.
Oh
Burn book,
gosh.
page 3.
Fish cakes. Well, when you've basically covered what I was wanted to ask you was how do you decompress,
Oh,
and I hear that's baths, fish cakes, and laying on beds.
I don't know where fish cakes came from in my decompressing, but you can put that into the title of the podcast if you want. Just be
Okay.
like Anna, fish cakes, and decompressing.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
it's
that'd
a
make a good
great
title.
title. I
It's
think
just a suggestion. You don't have to
it'll
take it.
fly off of the.
Fly off. Decompress. Well, that brings. I wonder how you. I know this podcast is about me, but I'm going to throw this back at you as well. Like when gaming is your kind of like downtime, and then also gaming becomes work. Where's the line between making like having gaming still be for you and not just for a live broadcast or thing like that? It's actually there are some things that I've gone, okay, this game is just going to be for my off days, and my brain's going stream it or record it because people will want to watch it because that's what I do. And also going, I actually know this should just be for me, so I don't like lose that part of me that just games for myself as well. But yeah,
It's very
I wonder what you
difficult.
think.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very difficult because I've had this. I was on a panel not so long ago, and it was talking about like burnout
Mm.
in
Oh
in
yeah.
content creation.
Mm.
That little thing
Oh
called
yeah.
burnout. um,
That little old thing.
yeah, and it's hard because I kind of can get caught up in when I'm enjoying a game, thinking I wish I was recording this.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean,
Me too.
Yeah, it's when you're
I'm like, oh, this would be even funnier if people were seeing what was happening in
yeah,
it, or like
and
something's.
clipping it.
Yes, I'm in a dialogue with a character, and I'm like, God, this is priceless. I wish
Yeah.
people were here right now.
Mm.
It's a whole different way of interacting with gaming now. Is
Mm.
having people with you.
Yeah.
It's insane because it would be so solo for me my whole life until streaming, just playing games by myself alone.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh God.
it's funny.
I actually got to say the streaming thing made me like it because I used to like watch my uncle play games, and it's basically that, isn't it?
Ah,
It's because he used to
yeah.
work as a producer for Sega, so he'd always be playing games, and I used to sit and watch him, and to me, streaming is like a grown up version of that. It's like a
Yeah.
virtual sitting on the floor watching your uncle playing games. Or no, I mean I
It's
don't
a
sit on the floor
virtual
when I watch
hangout.
Twitch,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's everyone coming round,
Yeah.
having pizza and watching each other play video games. Like that's what that is, but just on a very kind of grand scale.
Mm.
It has that feeling of like, oh, I'm just by myself. I wish my buddies were around, to
Yeah.
see what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
I find it hard because I've been enjoying DayZ lately, and I'm like, I
Mm.
need to stream it more, and it has been my game that I've played off stream, but it's like, oh, it's so funny, But
Yeah.
you got to have some things
It's
to yourself, I guess.
just something, yeah. Or if it's not gaming, I do like to be. I'm almost like a grandma. I joke, my community as well joke that I'm almost like a grandma
Mm.
trapped in. I was gonna say young. Am I even young? I don't even know. Trapped in a
You are young.
non grandma body, but because I literally love like baking, like painting, baths. I'm literally all
Yeah.
of that is like such a little old lady thing, but I do love all that stuff. It makes me unwind for sure.
Do you know what? I actually spoke about you in one of the other previous podcasts because you remember that conversation we had about baths and candles, and I said I love baths, and you were like, you don't have bath candle with bath. You don't have a candle when you have a bath, and I said, well, not every time, because I'd never appreciate what having a bath with a candle was like. Do you remember we had that conversation?
Yes. So you have some baths with candles, some baths without, so that you can appreciate the ones that you do have with the candles.
Yeah. You go.
Oh my God. This Christmas, like the Christmas that we just had, I had a lot of people go, "Oh, what do you feel like?" And I actually, for the first time in a while, I kind of had gotten myself the things that I needed, so I actually didn't really think of things that I needed, but I love candles. So I kind of said to most people that asked, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just a candle. I would love a candle because it sounds really boring, but I love them." And then everyone I knew
Oh
had
no.
gotten me probably not just one candle, but two or three, and I have now a stash of some of the most incredible smelling candles all over my house. There's no shortage of candles now for probably the next 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I
you
know.
got what you wished for.
I absolutely did.
That's a lot of baths.
It's a lot of baths. Well, some with, some without. Don't forget.
You got to mix it, yeah.
So I can appreciate the ones that I do.
Very philosophical about baths.
Mm.
Bathing. Right, I'm going to ask you some questions just on the voice acting. But
Okay.
before I move off of your Twitch and content creation, I would like to say to you, if there was someone listening who is starting out, what do you think, if you can condense it into literally a sentence or two, what would you say would be an important thing to? What's the secret sauce? Do you think to having
Talking about voice acting.
a successful content channel? So whether it's YouTube,
Content.
yeah. What would be your secret sauce? Consistency,
Um, yes, I was going to say, I always say, I think consistency
So
is
you
really
stole my
important.
word.
Yeah, I did. Well, okay. I'm like, oh God, I hope she says something else I can copy her. Whatever Holly said.
Oh.
Consistency.
Oh God.
No, but seriously, like if you want people to come back
How
and know
about
what they're like, I think be clear about what you're gonna play, when you're gonna play it, so people know first of all when to show up and what they're showing up for. I think is really, really helpful. It's funny because I watched a lot of Twitch before I became a streamer as well, so I feel like I remember the things that made me want to watch someone as well, and like knowing knowing that when they were going to go live, what they were playing, and that they cared about what they were playing, and they weren't just playing it because they thought that we wanted it to see it. So playing something that you actually are so excited to play, not just because you think that you should or something.
yeah.
And really just genuinely, being yourself is so cringe, but like I think people Twitch viewers or people behind a camera, people that are watching the person that's behind the camera, I think they pick up on way more than you think. And when you are not being yourself, if you're not being authentic, if you are rummaging around in parts of you that are not quite yourself, or you're putting on something, it absolutely comes across more than you realize. So there's no point in doing anything other than just doing what you love and doing it your way.
Wow.
And being consistent about it. Yeah.
Wow. That was wonderful. You make me want to stream on Twitch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I might try it.
Oh,
No, I'm not. That was so real. Thanks. Brilliant.
Of course.
Right. Might be an unfair question, but what's the favorite character you've ever voiced?
Oh, it's gotta be Sophia. I think, yeah, it's gotta be Sophia in Plague Tale. I have done at that point before Sophia came along. I'd done a lot of voices, but they hadn't been these kind of. I love story-driven games. Like take gameplay out of it for a second, just a game that is absolutely there for the story. And my favorite game, you're probably ruining one of your questions, but like The Last of Us is my favorite franchise of all time, and Plague Tale takes the people that made Plague Tale took so much inspiration from The Last of Us in terms of having a really emotional story-driven game. So when that came up as the fact that I could have a character that had all these thoughts and feelings and emotions, and it was about how they felt, and it wasn't just about shouting orders or things like that, as a lot of voice characters are, like get the sniper and stuff. It was about like feelings and the story itself, and how those people are relating to each other. I haven't had many opportunities like that, even though I've done a lot of voices. Like those kind of characters are really few and far between. Those opportunities are few and far between. So yeah, such a pleasure to have a character that is about her story, and how that fits into the narrative of the whole game.
Wow. Fantastic. What would be your dream voice role on that note? And it could be a previous game, a game you love. Like if you could go back in time and be in a game, or,
Yeah. Oof.
it's a difficult one.
It is. I always joke that if there's ever a third installment of The Last of Us, I will do anything.
Oh,
I'll
God.
bark. I'll be a dog in the background. I'll be a clicker. I'll be anything. Like
Oh, my
honestly,
God.
I'll
Who
do
wants to
whatever.
be a clicker?
I'll do anything.
You
Literally,
would be a clicker.
I'll be the shop. Someone, you just give me bullets. I'll be like, thanks. That's it. I'll just do that. That's it. Done. Or just someone knocks into me and I'll go, oh, that's it. So I don't mind. I'll just do anything. I'll be Ellie's crazy ex from 1991, who's like, Ellie? And I cause drama. Anything. Just drop me in to the Last of Us world. I'll do anything.
Oh, if you're in The Last of Us, I think I don't know.
I would die forever.
Yeah, I think I would too.
But
I think I'd.
we don't even really know if there's going to be a third one, do we? We don't really know.
No,
But
we just, well, in our heads there is, and you're in it. Okay.
yeah, well, there we go.
That good?
In Last of Us 3, I'm Ellie's crazy ex. There we go.
Okay.
I'm predicting it now.
Born in
But
91, which we haven't really thought about the timeline of The Last of Us Part 3, and I think it was in the
I'm
future.
not born in 91. I was thinking like, I don't know, maybe they were together in 91.
something. I don't know.
I didn't know. I was clutching at straws. Straws.
It's okay. It's okay. We can iron out the details.
But like, yeah, a character that's got like an incredible journey from start to finish, in like a really narrative based game like that. A character like Ellie is just absolute gold dust for an actor. So yeah, something like that. But I think there's a secret part of me that would love to play like a boss, be a boss one day.
I
A
think you'd
bad,
make a fantastic
evil
one.
boss. Yeah, I've not been that bad in games so much as I have been wholesome. So I'd love to do a boss, like be a boss fight one day, just even one fight, and I'll just do all the evil laughs and
Oh my
take all the
gosh.
damage.
Yes. Do you remember that time we played Granny Simulator and
Oh,
you
too
were
well.
like cackle laughing every time you kicked me when I was a little kid?
It was honestly, I don't know if this is going on YouTube or not, but that video needs to be linked in the bio so that you can watch it. Whoever's listening, you've got to go watch that video immediately. That was a long time ago, and it still holds up now.
Yeah, I mean the honestly the chaos of you kicking me as a little baby into a wall. I mean, I can't.
And it was your mic peaking on Discord every now and again. You would just laugh, and then it would cut out because I knew you were laughing so loudly that the mic
hard.
peaked.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. I've got a better mic now, so I think it would probably you'd hear the whole full force. Right. This is a question I'm gonna probably ask everyone that comes on, and to wrap up the wonderful discussion we've had.
Okay.
If you could pick a 2-player game to play.
2-player.
Yeah. Any game, any game. What game would you play with someone of your choosing, dead or alive? Who would you 2-player game with? And why?
Dead or alive? That is such a hard question. For some reason, Ashley, I'm just going back to being such a fangirl for The Last of Us. I would love to play a video game with Ashley Johnson one day. I'm trying to think of a game that I know I would have fun playing with her with. What would be fun? Something chaotic. How about, we'll go with like A Way Out.
Oh, yeah.
A classic 2-player game with Ashley Johnson.
Oh, nice.
I feel like I would have a lot of fun, and I feel like hopefully she would too.
Do you think you'd work well together?
Would I be a fangirl? I don't know.
You're just really silently like pirouetting.
I'm there like screaming inside. It's so weird still having like admiration and like that kind of bubbly, excited kind of stardom surrounded by people that are doing the job that you also do, because I see them as distant from me, and then they're still, in a sense, a celebrity, but they're also in the same world as I am. So it's very funny. Sometimes it's more kind of like, oh my God, I just love your work. And then other times it still is this kind of like giggly, like if I saw them, it would feel like they were on a red carpet type energy. It's so mixed. But yeah, I think with certain actors, especially in the gaming industry, I would still be so starstruck, I think. And she'd be probably one of them.
Yeah. Oh gosh, definitely. I mean, fantastic what she's done with Ellie.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Well,
yeah. I kind of want to ask I want to know your answers about all this stuff now. Have you asked yourself this in the podcast before?
I may have done.
I need to go back and check it.
I honestly, I really feel like I've got to get in deep and in depth with you today.
Thank you so much for having me as your first guest.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't think of anyone else who I would be.
It made me cry, or like 2 Cancerians in one place. It will just be a flood of tears.
For the benefits of those on Spotify, not only does she have a live chicken running around, she's sobbing.
I'm swimming in the tears. If you can't see it, water level up to my neck.
Yeah, the chicken's bobbing around like a duck. Yeah, that's what's happening over on YouTube. Oh, yes. Yes, see, it's really happening.
Interactive actor at your service anytime, any day of the week.
Yeah. Acting with live chickens.
That's all live.
Well, thank you very, very much. And look, everyone who has been listening, I'm sure has enjoyed getting to know you. And also, assuming there are more things in the future, look forward to them. So thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you so much. And you should like and subscribe to this channel, Holly's channel, right now.
And all of Anna's stuff is going to be in the description.
No,
if you don't know already, you get to know.
Now, like, subscribe, or I'm coming to you. I'm coming for you.
Thanks.
Get out of my pub.
Score. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to another episode with me, Holly. If you want to find me on socials, at Hollywood Joes on everything. Spelling should be in the title, let's hope. If you could rate the podcast 5 stars, it would mean a lot to me. I'll see you on the next episode. Many thanks to Richard Lawrence for my wonderful music. I very much appreciate it. I'll see you all next time.